Filming.
I don't care if you're doing filming. I've asked you not to film this building.
Yeah, but it was a little building.
I don't care.
It was a little.
Okay, they're on their way to see you now, right?
What about my drone?
I don't care about your drone.
Yeah, but I've come
no permission.
Yeah, but I've come
to film this building.
I've come a long way on my bike.
I don't care.
I go round. I take like videos and drone footage, and then I put them on the World Wide Web.
Yeah, but you've had no permission to come onto this site, and you were filming on this site without permission.
No, I only come on the site to knock on the door, but I think you came out, didn't you?
But you've been videoing on this site without permission.
No,
right?
I came through.
Watched you.
No, but I came through.
I watched you.
But there was no barrier down. If there was a barrier down, I wouldn't have come in.
A barrier tells you.
The video begins with a man being questioned just for recording near a property. He stays calm and explains that all he did was walk up to knock on the door. There were no warning signs, no fences, and no barriers showing the place was off limits. Under UK law, that detail is important. If you step onto land without knowing it's private, it isn't automatically a crime. In fact, most of the time, it's treated as a civil matter rather than a criminal one. Since the path wasn't closed off and he made no effort to hide what he was doing, there was no wrongdoing. Instead of recognizing that the area wasn't properly secured, the staff shifted focus and tried to make it seem like he was the one at fault.
Because the police, they just said they see you through the window and they're coming over to see you.
Yeah, but I'm only doing a little video.
Oh, no interest in me.
What's your name, sorry?
I didn't give my name.
What's your name?
I don't need to give you my name, do I?
Well, at the moment, we've been called. I don't know if you know anything about Concordia, but having had a chat to the manager here, it's quite a secure building, alright?
Yeah.
You're not allowed on there. That's coming from him.
Yeah.
Okay? And he's politely asked you to move on and obviously stop recording because of the nature of...
They don't carry out a proper check of the situation. Instead, they simply echo what the staff are saying and tell the man to stop recording. That isn't real policing. It's acting more like security for a business. A capable officer would begin with the basic question: has any law actually been broken? The answer is straightforward. Filming in a public place is not against the law. Unless there are specific restrictions clearly set out, no private company has the authority to decide what members of the public can or cannot record. By skipping this step, the officers fail to uphold the standard people expect from law enforcement.
What the company is, because I got it off the internet.
There we go. So, in this situation, the best thing we can do is just ask you to move on, alright? Not record, obviously, from here. They're asking you not to do it, right? At the moment, he's saying that in the building and the business itself, they do obviously supply quite high secure goods across the world on flights. And at the moment, it's just not appropriate. And obviously, that's where we are with it. Okay. Now, in terms of what we're going to do as police, is we're going to do the same. We're just going to ask you to politely move on, just to obviously prevent any breach of the peace. Just to move on, go on your push bike.
Concerning moment. The man is completely within his rights to record, whether using his handheld camera or his drone. Yet the officer tells him to leave, even though no law has been broken. That isn't proper law enforcement, it shows partiality. Instead of remaining neutral, the officer takes the business's side, shifting the focus onto the man as if he were the problem, when in fact he had done nothing unlawful. From that point, the situation is no longer about protecting the public's rights. It becomes about keeping a company comfortable, even if it means pushing away a citizen who was acting lawfully the entire time.
Potentially be facing is that if you're going to refuse to do that and allow for this business to move on with their day, we could be looking at other things then, couldn't we? Because what's happening here is this company now have had to send out managers and staff to obviously come and deal with yourself, and they're just kindly asking you, can you please stop filming?
But I'm doing photography in a public place. I'm allowed.
What they're saying is,
I'm allowed.
You by all means,
I'm allowed.
Go the other side of the road.
That's what I said I was going to do. I said I'm going to be over there. Over there on that footpath.
You've asked to use their toilet. You're not allowed to do that.
No, I'm not going to.
You've asked to go in and have a tour. You're not allowed to do it. Okay, there are rules in life that you have to follow.
No, I said to him.
For you to ask where the toilet is.
When the officer orders the man, who is already standing on public land, to back up even farther across the road. There's no legal reason for such a demand, yet she continues as if he has crossed some boundary. Her tone shifts to a lecturing one, telling him, "There are rules in life you have to follow," as though calmly exercising his rights was somehow a violation. By this point, it's clear she is no longer acting as a neutral officer. Instead, she is leaning toward the business's side, applying pressure rather than relying on law, and pushing him away simply to keep the staff comfortable. This kind of approach doesn't protect fairness. It undermines it, leaving the citizen treated like a problem when he has done nothing wrong.
We're not going to get into it.
I'm not going to. I just asked him. I said, "Look, any chance I can use your toilet?" He said, "You must be joking." I said, "Fine."
Yeah.
I said, "As I'm here, would you like to give me a guided tour? I've got high vis." He said, "No,
Yeah.
I'm happy with that.
Right.
But I just want to go on a public footpath and do my video and a little bit of drone footage."
He's not going to. He's not going to allow for the drone footage.
He doesn't
to take
own the
place.
airspace, officer.
But the problem is that as the manager, he's being quite respectful and polite to you, isn't he?
And
He's just saying, "Please, sir, can you not do this?" All right. Obviously, he knows a lot more than me and you about this company. All right. And he's saying that in the building itself, it's obviously quite a high secure place where they provide goods and materials.
Another unfounded claim by telling the man that the staff can decide whether his drone is allowed to fly. But the reality is simple. Employees have no authority over airspace. Unless the Civil Aviation Authority places restrictions on a specific location, no private business can control what happens in the sky above it. The man points this out correctly. The air isn't theirs to regulate. To make matters worse, staff then insist the site is high security. Yet if that were truly the case, why was the gate wide open? Where were the trained security personnel? A genuinely secure facility would have clear barriers, visible warnings, and active enforcement measures. What happened here looked more like rules being invented on the spot, with police supporting them instead of following established law.
Photograph in a public area.
I'm not saying you're not allowed to photograph.
I'm allowed.
Go over there then.
That's what I said I'd do.
Make yourself sparse. Obviously, take photos and stuff.
Yeah.
But please don't go putting a drone up. We've got our headquarters there. That's our police headquarters. I don't know if you're aware of that.
No.
Right. That's our police headquarters there for Gwent Police.
But I'm not doing Gwent Police. I'm doing.
But obviously, as you can see, there's only a matter of meters between these buildings. Okay. So Concordia, they're obviously quite a high secure building. We've got our premises there as Gwent Police.
But I'm allowed to do my drone footage. I'm allowed to do my...
To justify her demands, the officer changes her approach, insisting the drone cannot fly simply because a police headquarters is nearby. She frames it as if that automatically creates a no-fly zone, but that's not how the law works. Proximity to a police station does not restrict airspace. If an actual law applied here, she would have cited it directly. Instead, she falls back on vague cautions and personal requests. And that's the giveaway. She's asking, not enforcing, because she has no legal authority to ground the flight. This is an example of overstepping, trying to use invented barriers to pressure someone who is acting fully within their rights. The man stands his ground, calmly and firmly reminding her that operating his drone in that space is completely lawful.
They have like red zones and
I'm not
amber
a drone
zones.
officer, but I can certainly check with a drone officer if that's where we're going to get to.
Yeah.
However, I feel that that's a little bit unnecessary for now. All right, and I think that what the best option here is just for you to obviously move on as you've been asked by a couple of people now. All right, just move on, get on with your day. And
this is my day. I'm allowed. I'm not being...
Like I said, just go across the way then, and obviously.
Yeah, I was going to go across
across the way there. There's many other buildings on industrial estates that you can use.
Yeah,
and you can photograph.
I will do them. But I was here, and what you're telling me is that because he don't like it,
it's not a case of him not liking it. He's the manager, isn't he? And what he's saying is that because of the nature of the materials and the goods that are inside of this building.
But it's not unlawful to do photography. It's just a public place.
It's again with that company.
The officer then shifts her reasoning once more, arguing that because the building contains sensitive materials, the staff don't want any filming. But here's the obvious flaw. The man isn't inside, he's standing outside on public land. In a public space, there is no expectation of privacy. If what's inside the building is truly sensitive, it is the company's responsibility to secure it properly, not the public's duty to simply turn away. As she pushes this shaky argument further, her statements begin to contradict themselves, showing how weak the claim really is. By this point, the situation is clear. It's no longer about enforcing actual law. It has become about satisfying the business, even if that means inventing rules on the spot and applying pressure where none is justified.
I'm allowed though.
Let's not be awkward.
No.
Let's not make things difficult because otherwise they're going to end up difficult. Okay?
Why?
Well, because of obviously the sort of attitude that you're giving.
All I'm doing is exercising my rights to film in a public area.
But like I've just said, the company are saying to you, you're not allowed to do it. Please don't do it because our business has things in there that we don't want.
Look becomes clear when she delivers what sounds like a thinly veiled warning. Let's not make things difficult, or they'll end up difficult. The man, steady and calm as always, asks a simple question: why? Her response is telling: because of the attitude you're giving. But what attitude is that supposed to be? He hasn't raised his voice, caused a scene, or broken a single law. His only so-called attitude is refusing to give up his rights when faced with rules that don't exist. That isn't fair policing, it's bias. Instead of taking the opportunity to explain to the business that filming from public land is perfectly legal, she chooses to push harder with threats, punishing a citizen simply for standing firm within the law.
But I'm also exercising my rights, lawful rights, as a citizen in England and Wales. I'm allowed to take photography in a public place unless...
Photography is different to drone though.
No, that's my first point. My second point is I'm allowed to put a drone up over any place unless it's in a flight restriction zone. And I've got a CAA app that tells me I'm allowed. And you're telling me
you're completely confusing what I've said. What I've said to you is that business are asking you not to. All right, they don't want you doing it. So can you not just respect that and be, respectful towards everybody involved here and just please just take your photographs, but they just don't want to drone up, okay?
But I am being respectful. I mean, I'm not getting into an argument or any conflict with you guys, but I am allowed to put a drone up, and you're saying, well, be respectful to them and don't put one up. But I'm allowed, and it's. But then what I'll do, I won't do it. But I'll go to my lawyer because I'm allowed and I know my rights, and the rights are that you're allowed. The law says that you're allowed to take photography, including drone footage, in a public place.
Okay, what's your surname, please?
What?
What's your surname, please?
I'm not giving my name.
You're going to refuse to give details now, are you?
Well, unless you threaten me with some sort of arrest.
I'm a police officer, sir. I don't threaten anyone.
Oh, right, okay.
I don't threaten.
So you're not going to threaten me with arrest if I don't give you...
Certainly not a threaten.
Okay.
I can use laws and powers, but it's certainly not a threat.
But I've not done nothing wrong. I've got the...